Today in Capechi's Corner, we're going to look at the second day of points, lines, and planes. One of the most important things when we're talking about points, lines, and planes is to understand that they are undefined terms. And what that means is, in geometry, they're accepted and they are not defined. We don't give them a definition. However, there are certain characteristics about that we will know and we will use throughout the course. So a point is represented by a dot. We usually use a capital letter, such as capital A, or any other letter is fine. We don't give it a specific size. And it's also, all geometric figures are consisting of points. So whether it's a segment or a triangle or a polygon, they are all made up of points. When you're looking at a line, some things you need to know about a line is that it extends in two directions without end. So we can't measure it. It doesn't have a thickness. And we can name it a couple different ways. Sometimes we just call that line L. We use a cursive. And sometimes we will say, like, this is considered line AB. So there's two different ways you can name or discuss a line. In the word plane, that's a flat surface extending in every direction without end, similar to a line. It has an infinite number of points. There's no thickness. There's no edges. However, sometimes when we're going to sketch a plane, we have to give it edges. So when you'll see this in your geometry book or anything online or any examples that we do, we're going to call that plane M. And we usually use a capital letter for plane. And we do draw it with edges, even though, again, we are aware that there is no edges in an actual plane, that it goes on in all directions without end. Our next set of vocabulary words is going to be collinear points or non-collinear points. Collinear points are points all in a line. So when I were to draw them, they're going to line up so that I can draw a line through all the points, whether there's 3 points or 4 points. When we talk about non-collinear points, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's the opposite. So they are points that are not found in a line. I could draw them like that. I could draw 4 points like this. It doesn't matter. It's just the fact that they are not lined up. Our next vocabulary words are similar: coplanar points and non-coplanar points. Coplanar points are points that are all in one plane, and non-coplanar points are points that are not in one plane. And talking about the word equidistant, again, this is a word in geometry. It sounds exactly as it's stated. This means that something is equally distant. It has the same distance. So if I were to say that B, in this next example, is equidistant from A and C, it means that the measure AB is the same as the measure of BC. B is equidistant from both A and C. I can also say, I can show that with my little hash marks there. I can also give it some values. So I can say that if DE is worth 5 units and EF is worth 5 units, then E is equidistant from both D and F. Now, looking at the word intersection, that means that it meets or cuts. And we can have a lot of different types of intersections in geometry. If I have two lines, which we talked about in the last lesson, two lines, if they intersect or when they intersect, they will intersect in one point. If I have two planes, because planes go on without end, they will intersect and they will form a line. So if I just draw a quick sketch of, there's one plane, and if I were to have it intersect with another plane, let's say that goes underneath and comes back at the bottom, then their intersection there is going to be a line. The last thing we're going to talk about is when a plane and a line intersect. And actually, when a plane and a line intersect, they're going to form a point. So again, if I were going to draw a quick plane and I had a line and they were to meet somewhere, they would meet at a point. It would, again, those dash means you can't see it. It would go underneath the plane and come out the other end. But again, the idea is that the plane and a line will intersect at a point.